All right. Yeah, welcome to the Calvin Dean Show. Wow, do we have a lot to go over here, guys? We have a lot to go over. Yeah, I mean, the combine is going on. GMs are having news conferences. Harbaugh was on the stage. I mean, this is some great stuff that's going on. We have a tag and trade scenario is possible for Snead and the Chiefs. I mean, come on, man. I guess they can't keep all of them. They want to sign Jones, of course, right? And they want to. They might give up Snead in the backfield. I mean, Snead was huge in the Super Bowl, guys. He was great. I mean, he shut down Ayuk, and he was all over the place, man. So I'm telling you something. He's a great find for this for any team. Now the Chiefs released Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Yeah, they released him finally. I mean, he's not going to be that good. I mean, they free up $12 million in cap space by releasing him. So that's great. That's great, right? Wow. Man, just, I can't, so, I mean, why not? I mean, the guy he's not that good, guys. He just isn't that good. And, he proved it. He proved it all year round, dropping balls after balls after balls. I mean, he was non-existent. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to make any team. But, I mean, they're like I said, the Chiefs are taking free up $12 million in cap space. Why not, I think they're going to go after Mike Evans. I think that's what's going to happen. I really do. I think they're going to go for Mike Evans. And that would be a great pickup. Great pickup for the Kansas City Chiefs. Could you see the Kansas City Chiefs picking up Mike Evans? Wow. That would be insane. Insane. Anyway, there's a lot to go over here, guys. A lot to go over. I mean, there's a lot of latest news, that the Patriots head coach Jared Mayo franchises change is not taking the shots. He's not taking any shots at Bill Belichick's. None whatsoever. I mean, I don't understand that, And then the Ravens GM DeCosta hopeful of re-signing running backs J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Why would you want to sign D.K. Dobbins? I mean, the guy gets hurt every single year. I know he's great, but he's not great when he gets hurt. Now, I would definitely sign Gus Edwards, but he is kind of, one of those running backs that, gets hurt a lot too. And then you have Zach Wilson of the New York Jets. And the GM, right, Joe Douglas, says his team has given Zach Wilson permission to seek a trade. Oh, boy. And we have some news out of Indianapolis, right? Anthony Richardson, continues a positive progress in rehab from his season-ending shoulder injury suffered in October, including beginning to toss the pigskin, baby. Oh, yeah. I mean, he is just an unbelievable quarterback. He said in December that he was ahead of schedule of his recovery. But Wednesday, at the 2024 Scouting Combine, General Manager Chris Ballard said that the club wants to pull the reins a little bit on Richardson, noting the experience gained with Andrew Luck rushed back from a shoulder injury. You don't want to, I think that's a smart move. I think that's a smart move, guys. Really, I do. Wow. So, I mean, that's a big thing with the Colts, I mean, Ballard had said about Richardson, he's really happy where he's at. He started throwing. He's on rehab program. We got to, and then he says this, we're not going to I lived through the last one. with Andrew Luck, and I've learned a lot of lessons living through that one. So, forgive me for being a little cautious, but I know Anthony Richardson made some statements and that it's important to go ahead of schedule. Well, there's to be pulled the reins back a little. He's going to pull them back, and he's going to let him just rehab, because he's a special talent, guys. He's a special talent. So, the Colts, and I guess the Patriots are looking for a new quarterback, too. So, I think Mac Jones is going to be released, guys. I really do. Man, that's something. That is definitely something. That's going to be... I don't know, the Patriots just don't seem right, do they? Think about it, guys. 2024 free agency market is coming up. One team fits for, 15 notable free agencies, There's going to be, look at Chris Jones, He could go to Houston. Who knows, Who knows? And, just you never know. You never know. Yeah, so Chris Jones, he's up. He's a free agent after rightfully holding out for a lack of contract extension. He eventually agreed to a 1-year deal, right? Jones is going to get a ton of money this offseason. Although the Chiefs GM, Brett Veach, recently said re-signing Jones is at the top of his list. It likely won't be that simple. It just won't. We're talking about, guys, north of $25 million for Jones, right? That is roughly $10 million more than the Chiefs have in available cap space. Turning 30 in July, the time is now for Jones to cash out and with a contender. I think Houston Texans might be a great spot for him. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think so, guys. I really do think so. That would be awesome. So really, there's some good stuff out there. What about Brian Burns? Brian Burns, the edge rusher, right? After winning his first division title since the Clinton administration, Detroit has of $50 million to spend to upgrade a team that is already a title contender. Think about that, guys. I think Brian Burns would be great. He's 26 years old. They need another edge rusher. The talents of Aiden Hutchinson. Think about it, guys. The addition of Burns would just produce a dream edge rushing pairing in Detroit. And if there ever was a time to spend a young talent who's just entering his prime, it's now. I'm telling you guys, Burns might finally get the credit he deserves by playing in a place other than Carolina. Carolina is a team for players to die in. McCaffrey, he was just being used up there and got hurt. And look at Bryce Young right now. He's just terrible, guys. Just terrible. So, and then what about Kirk Cousins, guys? Kirk Cousins is something to talk about too. He's up for evaluation. He's on the free market, right? Wow. That's going to be exciting too. So Kirk Cousins, man, that's something right there, guys. Think about it. Kurt never has ever seen the open market. Because he's the best quarterback approaching free agency. He deserves a place on this list. He really does. His contributions leave him deserving of another contract in Minnesota. That's what I think. Even though it's a short-term deal. Look at his age, but still, he looked great before he went down. He was on fire. I think it would be great, really, actually beneficial for the Minnesota Vikings to re-sign him. Very, very beneficial. The next one would be Josh Allen, the linebacker in Jags. He had 17 and a half sack campaign. Come on, guys, really? The time is now for Allen to get paid handsomely. And I think he might go to the Washington Commanders. I mean, they don't have Montez Sweat or Chase Young any longer, so why not, just go over there. Josh Jacobs, I think he would be a great addition to the Dallas Cowboys. Just think of that one. Josh Jacobs on the Dallas Cowboys. Wow. That would be awesome. And maybe Saquon Barkley going to the Ravens. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, Saquon Barkley, instead of getting the tender, maybe the Ravens trading up for him. Wow. Now, that would be something for the Ravens. I mean, they need something like that. All those... just think what Saquon Barkley could do with the Ravens. Ooh, yeah. I mean, that would be awesome, guys. Awesome. That could happen, guys. That could happen. I mean, save for the brief Tommy Cutlets era, right? The Giants were, though, the Giants were a tough watch in 2023. I mean, they were just a tough watch, guys. I mean, lost in that ugliness, though, was another solid season for Barkley. Think about it. It was a solid season who routinely fought through adverse situations to produce positive gains, right? Out of a bad situations. The numbers don't suggest he's as good, right, as he was a year ago, but I can confidently say that he's still very good back who would thrive in a better offense, just would thrive. The problem is, though, the running back don't get paid much these days, man. Barkley will likely only fetch a 2 to 3 year deal, right? This is all the setting is a perfect scenario for him to join a contender. Think about it. I think GM Eric DeCosta and the Ravens will look to sign a veteran back this offseason. I really do think so. I mean, although I think they'll be bringing back Gus Edwards and maybe J.K. Dobbins. He's on the table, so I think it'd be best to go grab Barkley while they can. That would be my thing, man. I would definitely grab Barkley. He's just, what a great pickup that would be for the Baltimore Ravens, guys. What a great pick. The next person to talk about is Daniel Hunter. I mean, despite operating under a different leadership regimes, right, the Raiders have spent the last few years conducting business in a veteran edge rusher, like pairing Max Crosby with the likes of Yannick Ngakoue and Chandler Jones. The new GM, Tom Telesco, could take a similar approach this year, leading the Silver Black, adding a seasoned menace in the fashion not unlike one that they saw him bring Khalil Mack to Los Angeles. Remember that? With nearly $43 million to spend for the Raiders can afford to spend some money and grab Daniel Hunter. That's what I would do. He had 16 and a half sacks to prove his worth in 2023. Think about that, guys. Think about that. I mean, Odell Beckham is going to be up for renewal. I could envision Beckham returning back to Baltimore. I think he will. I really do think he will. What about Chase Young? Chase Young of the 49ers, man. He just laid an egg. He's just got heavy, out of shape. And he just looked terrible on the 49ers near the end. They caught him jogging a couple times, not going full out. And that's not the Niners thing. I think they're going to definitely release him and go get, maybe the Cardinals will pick him up or something like that. There's a lot of people up, guys. You need Tyler Boyd is another one. I think Tyler Boyd will be released because they just signed. They gave the franchise tag to excuse me, to Higgins, right? To Higgins, excuse me. I had to drink some coffee. Anyway, and I think Boyd's going to be on the chopping blocks. He could provide some help for Bryce Young. I don't know if that's going to happen, but Boyd will fit nicely at a market value that should be maybe below $10 million per year, while providing Young with veteran production, allowing the Panthers to spend, they address some of their needs. They need some wideouts. I mean, they do. They just do. And what about Derrick Henry? I think Derrick Henry is going to be released by the Tennessee Titans. I think New England Patriots might pick up him. They like that kind of style of football, that pound 'em type of football. I think he's up for consideration to be traded and on the open market. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the NFL, guys. A lot of stuff. It's exciting. Back to the Colts, guys. Back to the Colts. The general manager intends to keep wide receiver Michael Pittman with an extension or a franchise tag. So, they might use the franchise tag on Pittman. He is an exciting player, guys. He's an exciting player. Another way, or one way or another. That's what they're just saying. It's one way or another. Michael Pittman will remain a member of the Indianapolis Colts in 2024. Speaking on Wednesday, the NFL Scouting Combine, Colts general manager Chris Ballard made it clear that the Colts has no plans to let the wide receiver hit the open market. Ballard noted that the franchise tag is a fallback option, but remains a tool if necessary. While working hard to get the deal done, that's what he's told me. He said it's the tool that we have. They don't want to use it, but if they have to, they will. That's how much they feel. That's how strong they feel on Mr. Pittman. The Colts have until March 5th to get a long-term deal done with their top wide receiver or franchise tag him. Now, if they franchise tag him, he'll get $21.816 million for 2024. If Indy issues the tag on Pittman, it would have to until mid-January to agree to a multi-year. They would have up until mid-July to agree on a multi-year deal. So that's what happens. They put a franchise tag on a player, and then it gives them time to structure a deal out, and then they can structure a deal out and then remove the franchise tag, and they will have a long-term deal for Mr. Pittman. That's a smart move. These guys really know how to move money around, especially this year. Each team's going to get an additional $30 million to spend, which is kind of great in a way. It's from all the revenue. The NFL is just making some bank, guys. Some bank. They really are. It's just something to read about, and now the Chiefs grant L'Jarius Sneed permission to seek a trade. Yes, it's the Chiefs, like I was talking to you before about, granted the cornerback L'Jarius Sneed permissions to seek a trade. If you look at that game, he was covering all these wide receivers. They could not get away from him. And I'm telling you something, he's a great pickup. Any team would just be, I think that the Ravens would be a great team for him. Or maybe Buffalo would be a great team, that's for sure. The whole thing with Caleb Williams, coming out of USC, he said that he would be excited if the Bears picked him. He would be incredibly excited. U.S. quarterback Caleb Williams, viewed as likely the number one overall pick for the 2024 NFL Draft, and said he'd be thrilled to be selected as the Chicago Bear, doing his best to clear up some rumbling to the contrary. There had some rumbling that he didn't really want to go to the Bears, but who would? Think about it. In the last 32 years, the Bears have had 38 quarterbacks. And in the last 32 years, the Green Bay Packers have had a total of three. Favre, Mr. Favre, yep, Brett Favre, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, now Mr. Jordan Love. And they seem to be doing something right? With the Bears, it's another thing. Think about this, guys. If the Bears take Caleb Williams, trade out Fields, let's say to Atlanta, they already have the number 1 and number 9 pick, right? Well, if they have a trade with Atlanta, I think Fields would do great in Atlanta. I really do. The Dome, Stadium, the way he plays, I think he'd do really well there. And of course, they would have to have a number 1 pick for him, right? And they would give the 8th pick, right? So the Bears would have number 1, number 8, and number 9. They would get Caleb Williams, which is definitely an upgrade from Fields. He just is. And they would get 2 more picks in the top 10. That's insane. What they could do is they go out and get a offensive lineman and then maybe another exciting wideout, or even a running back. Guys, Chicago, they always screw up. They always seem to screw up. They're already talking about trading out on for the first. They're already talking about that. Why would you talk about that when you have Caleb Williams over Justin Fields? Get rid of Justin Fields. He is trash. Guys. Justin Fields is trash. Seriously, I think he is. I just think he's just so overrated. He doesn't have any type of consistency in his play, and I think they should just get rid of him. I really do. That would be the best move for the Chicago Bears. The best move. And I don't know. Maybe Atlanta wouldn't pick him up. Maybe they would. There are some teams that think Justin Fields, and some analysts that think Justin Fields is all that and then some. I don't see it. I've never seen it. And this is what Caleb Williams says. If I get drafted by the Bears, I'll be excited, Williams said on an interview with ESPN's Pete Thamel on this last Wednesday, which was yesterday. If they trade the pick, I get drafted by someone else, I'm just excited. He'll be just as excited. So, come on. You're going to the NFL. Of course you're going to be excited. You're going to be one of the... I think he will be the number 1 pick. But who's going to trade down? Who's going to get that number 1 spot? I just don't see the Chicago Bears. I think it'd be another Chicago Bear blunder by not taking Caleb Williams and getting rid of Fields. I just don't see it happening. The Caleb Williams announced yesterday at the NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis, he is expected to meet with, these are the teams, the Bears, the Washington Commanders, the New England Patriots, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Jets, the New York Giants, Minnesota Vikings. That's the teams so far he is planned to go, visit. And think about it. All those teams, they need quarterbacks. The Commanders need a quarterback. The Patriots need a quarterback. The Raiders need a quarterback. The Atlanta Falcons need a quarterback. The New York Jets need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is trash. He's retired. He should retire. Aaron Rodgers is just, seriously, he's trash. Aaron, retire. Do yourself a favor. Do the New York Jets fans a favor. Retire. You're quarter of a man that you used to be. And you just go off in the sunset, have your one Super Bowl ring, and just walk away. Just walk away, Aaron. Give us all a favor, man. Seriously, you're right now. No matter what, even if you came back right now and played again for the New York Jets, they won't do anything, guys. I'm serious. Seriously, the New York Jets won't do anything with Aaron Rodgers. He's trash. It's the New York Giants. I mean, Daniel Jones already signed a contract. I don't know how they would work on that one. Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins, they need to shore up that contract. If they don't, why not? Caleb Williams. I don't know. That would be an awesome fit. That would be a great fit. So, I mean, the Caleb Williams saga will continue until April, right? April, that's when the NFL draft is. So, I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Calvin Dean Show. I want to thank all my listeners. Kay from Nebraska, Georgia Peach, love you. And Nikki Niners, Nikki up in San Francisco, Gigi up in Oregon, Los Angeles, all my listeners in Los Angeles, Jonathan Morales, Stu Karen. I could go on and on. Chris Akopian. I mean, I can go on and on, guys. I can go on and on. Thank you so much. I just want to thank you, everyone. Stay tuned for next week, guys. Have a good one.